The alarm bells rang through the bridge of the galactic ship Harmony's Edge. Commander Zixthala stared at the screen with his 4 yellow eyes. The distress signal came from a human mining colony on a planet called Kepler 4042b. The message was broken and hard to understand, but he heard words like creature and breach and help us. Zixthala was a tall alien with blue skin and long arms. He belonged to the Vorthan Empire, one of the strongest groups in the galaxy. He had dealt with many dangerous situations before. When colonies sent distress calls about creatures, it usually meant something deadly had escaped or attacked. "Send word to the Council fleet," Zixthala told his crew. "We need representatives from all major civilizations for this rescue mission." Within hours, ships arrived from 5 different alien races. Each species had their own way of handling threats. The Cathani brought heavy weapons. The Morduk brought their best soldiers. The Silvani brought their advanced scanners. All of them agreed on one thing. If there was a dangerous creature loose, it needed to be killed quickly. The fleet of 6 ships flew toward the human colony. As they got closer, Zixthala could see the settlement through his ship's cameras. Smoke rose from several buildings. Humans ran between structures, carrying supplies and weapons. Something large moved in the shadows between the buildings, but the cameras could not get a clear view. There, pointed Officer Veltar, a young Vorthan with green markings on his face. Movement in Sector 7. On the screen, they saw it. The creature was huge, maybe 3 times taller than a human. It had 6 legs like a giant insect, but its body was covered in crystal-like spines that glowed with red light. The thing moved slowly but powerfully, each step shaking the ground. "By the void," whispered Captain Nathara of the Cathani ship. "What is that thing?" "Unknown species," replied the scanner operator. "Energy readings are off the charts. This creature could destroy the entire colony if it wanted to." Zixthala opened a communication channel to the human settlement. "This is Commander Zixthala of the Galactic Council Fleet. We received your distress call. What is your situation?" A human voice answered, crackling through static. "This is Jake Miller, Colony Supervisor. Thank the stars you're here. We have a situation with an unknown life form. It's been moving through our settlement for 2 days." "How many casualties?" asked Zixthala. "That's the strange part," Jake replied. "None. The thing hasn't actually hurt anyone. It just searches, like it's looking for something." The alien commanders looked at each other with confusion. Creatures this size usually killed everything in sight. That was basic nature. Big predators hunted smaller prey. "Mr. Miller," said Zixthala, "our scanners show this creature has enough strength to level your entire colony. Why haven't you evacuated?" "We tried," Jake said. "But our xenobiologist, Dr. Lisa Carter, she's still out there. She went to study the creature when it first appeared. We can't leave without her." "Your scientist is probably dead," said Captain Nathara bluntly. "We need to eliminate this threat before it kills more people." "No," Jake's voice was sharp. "Lisa is still alive. I can track her suit's signal. She's somewhere in the research section. And I'm telling you, this creature isn't trying to hurt us." On the screen, the creature moved past a group of human miners who were hiding behind some equipment. The beast was close enough to crush them easily, but it just walked by without even looking at them. Its glowing spines pulsed with that red light, and it made a low humming sound. "Fascinating," said Dr. Quintal, the science officer from the Silvani ship. "The creature's energy patterns suggest it's under stress, but not aggressive stress. More like anxiety? Confusion?" "It doesn't matter," growled General Thokmar of the Morduk forces. "Unknown creatures are eliminated. That's protocol. We don't take chances." Zixthala had to agree. In his long career, he had seen too many colonies destroyed because someone decided to study a dangerous life form instead of killing it immediately. The galactic rules were clear. Safety first, questions later. "Mr. Miller," he said into the communicator, "we're going to land a strike team. Evacuate your people to the main shelter. We'll handle the creature." "Wait," Jake said. "Just give us a few more hours. Lisa knows what she's doing. She's the best xenobiologist in this sector." But Zixthala was already giving orders to his weapons team. They would use plasma cannons to kill the creature from a safe distance. It was the smart thing to do, the safe thing to do. The alien ships moved into attack position. On the ground, the humans saw the ship's weapons charging up. The bright blue glow of plasma cannons was visible even from space. "No, wait," Jake's voice came through the radio. "Don't shoot. Lisa is close to that thing." Zixthala paused. He could see the human settlement through his ship's cameras. The creature was near the research buildings, still searching for something. Its red lights pulsed faster now, like a heartbeat speeding up. "Sir," said Veltar quietly, "the human is right. Their scientist's life sign is very close to the creature. If we fire now—" "The human made her choice when she approached that thing," said Captain Nethara. "We can't risk an entire colony for one person." But something about the situation bothered Zixthala. The creature's behavior was wrong for a predator. It wasn't hunting, it wasn't feeding, it was just looking for something. And despite being surrounded by easy prey, it hadn't killed anyone. "Hold fire," he ordered. "We wait for the human scientist to clear the area." "Commander," protested General Thokmar, "every minute we wait gives that thing more time to attack." "I said hold fire," Zixthala repeated firmly. He had a feeling that there was more to this situation than a simple monster attack. Something about the way the creature moved, the way it ignored the humans around it, suggested intelligence. On the surface, Jake Miller stood at the colony's main building, watching the alien ships overhead. He held a radio in one hand and a rifle in the other, though he knew the rifle wouldn't do much good against that creature. Or against the alien plasma cannons, for that matter. He just hoped Lisa knew what she was doing. Because right now, she was the only thing standing between that creature and a very violent death. Dr. Lisa Carter walked slowly out of the research lab building. She carried no weapons, just a small bag of equipment and her emergency food supplies. The alien ships overhead had their weapons pointed at the creature, waiting for her to get to safety so they could fire. But Lisa didn't run toward the main building like everyone expected. Instead, she walked directly toward the creature. "What is she doing?" gasped Officer Veltar from his position on the alien ship. Commander Zixthala watched in horror as the small human figure approached the massive beast. "Dr. Carter," he said into his communicator, "move away from the creature immediately. We need a clear shot." "No," Lisa said calmly. "You don't understand what you're looking at." The creature noticed her approaching. Its 6 legs shifted, and its crystal spines glowed brighter. The red light pulsed faster, like it was excited or nervous. Lisa stopped about 10 feet away from it and slowly sat down on the ground. "She's insane," muttered Captain Nethara. "That thing will crush her." But the creature didn't attack. It lowered its massive head and looked at Lisa with what appeared to be large, dark eyes hidden beneath its crystal spines. The beast made that low humming sound again, but softer now. "Dr. Carter," Jake's voice came through the radio from the main building. "What are you doing out there?" "Learning," Lisa replied. She reached into her bag and pulled out a protein bar from her emergency rations. Slowly, carefully, she unwrapped it and held it out toward the creature. The alien commanders were speechless. In all their years of space travel, none of them had ever seen anyone try to feed an unknown predator. Their military training said this was the most dangerous thing a person could do. "The human has lost her mind," said General Thokmar. "We should fire now before that thing kills her." "Wait," said Dr. Quental, the Silvani scientist. "Look at the creature's energy readings. On their scanners, the red aggressive patterns were changing to blue and green. The creature's humming became more musical, almost like it was trying to communicate. Very slowly, it reached out with one of its smaller front appendages and touched the protein bar. The appendage was surprisingly gentle. It had tiny fingers at the end, like a hand, but with more joints. The creature sniffed the food and then carefully took it from Lisa's hand. "Incredible," whispered Dr. Quental. "The creature is omnivorous, and those appendages show advanced manipulation capabilities. This suggests high intelligence." Lisa pulled out another protein bar and offered it to the creature. This time the beast took it more confidently. Its crystal spines were now glowing with soft blue and green lights instead of angry red. "Commander," Lisa said into her radio, "this isn't a mindless predator. It's intelligent, maybe as smart as we are." "Dr. Carter," Zixthala replied, "intelligence doesn't mean safety. Intelligent creatures can be more dangerous than simple predators." "Look at your scanners," Lisa said. "Is it showing aggressive behavior now?" The alien officers checked their readings. The creature's energy signature had completely changed. Instead of the harsh, chaotic patterns of an angry animal, they were seeing organized, almost musical patterns. The beast was trying to communicate. Lisa stood up slowly and walked closer to the creature. It didn't back away. Instead, it lowered its head until it was at her eye level. This close, Lisa could see that its eyes were actually quite beautiful, deep purple with flecks of silver like looking at a nebula. "Jake," she called to her radio, "bring some of the mineral samples from Storage Unit 3, and bring the quantum resonance scanner." "Lisa, that's crazy," Jake replied. "I'm not getting near that thing." "Trust me," Lisa said. "Please." After a few minutes, Jake Miller appeared around the corner of a building. He moved slowly, carrying a box of equipment and looking very nervous. The creature's head turned to watch him, but it didn't move aggressively. "Easy," Lisa said, both to Jake and to the creature. "We're friends here." Jake reached Lisa and set down the box. "I hope you know what you're doing," he muttered. Lisa pulled out a chunk of crystalline mineral and held it up. The creature's eyes focused on it immediately, and its spines began glowing brighter. It made excited humming sounds and pointed one of its appendages toward the canyon, where the mining operation was working. "I think I understand," Lisa said. "Jake, remember 3 days ago when we had that explosion in Sector 12? When we were extracting the rare crystals?" "Yeah," Jake nodded. "Nearly brought down the whole cliff face." "I think we damaged something that belonged to our friend here," Lisa said. She pointed to the creature. "I think this is a ship's crew member and we accidentally damaged their ship." The creature nodded its massive head when Lisa pointed toward the canyon. It made more humming sounds and touched the crystal sample gently. "A ship?" Jake asked. "You mean like a spacecraft?" "Look at those spines," Lisa said. "They're not natural crystal, they're technology. Biological technology, but still technology. This creature is a space traveler, just like our alien friends up there." Commander Zixthala listened to this conversation with growing amazement. His sensors were detecting what might be wreckage in the canyon area, but it was unlike any ship design in their databases. "Dr. Carter," he said into the radio, "even if what you're saying is true, this doesn't change the fact that this creature is potentially dangerous." "So are you," Lisa replied simply. "So are all of us. But that doesn't mean we should shoot first and ask questions later." She pulled out more food and offered it to the creature. By now, several other human colonists had emerged from their hiding places. They watched from a distance as their scientist continued to interact peacefully with the massive alien. "Commander," said Officer Veltar quietly, "perhaps we should consider the human approach. Our protocols have always assumed hostility, but what if we're wrong?" "Our protocols exist for good reasons," Zixthala replied firmly. "They've kept the galaxy safe for thousands of years." But as he watched the scene below, he began to wonder. The creature was clearly intelligent and capable of communication, and instead of showing fear or aggression toward the humans, it seemed almost grateful, like it had been lost and afraid and the humans were the first people to offer help instead of violence. "Dr. Carter," he said into his communicator, "you have 1 hour to learn what you can. Then we proceed with standard protocols." "Thank you," Lisa replied. She turned back to the creature and offered it another piece of food. "Let's see if we can figure out how to help you get home." Lisa spent the next hour learning to communicate with the creature. It was surprisingly easy once she figured out the pattern. The creature's crystal spines changed colors to show different emotions and ideas. Red meant worry or fear. Blue meant calm. Green meant curiosity. Yellow meant excitement. When Lisa showed it different objects, the creature would point with its delicate hand appendages and change colors. When she pointed to the sky, it glowed yellow and made happy humming sounds. When she pointed to the damaged canyon, it turned blue-green and made sad, low notes. "It's definitely trying to tell us something about the canyon," Lisa said to Jake, who was now sitting beside her with much less fear than before. The creature seemed to understand that. Jake was Lisa's friend. It had started offering food back to them, strange, sweet-tasting berries that it produced from pouches in its body. The berries were actually quite good, though Lisa made sure to scan them first to check they weren't poisonous to humans. "Doctor Carter," came Commander Zixthala's voice through her radio. "Your time is almost up. What have you learned?" "This creature isn't from this planet," Lisa replied. "I'm calling it Beacon because of its light patterns. Beacon is a traveler, probably a scientist like me. Its ship crashed in the canyon 3 days ago when our mining operation accidentally damaged it." Lisa pointed to the creature and then to herself, trying to show they were similar. Beacon's spines glowed bright green, the color for understanding. Then Beacon did something amazing. It touched one of its crystal spines and projected a hologram into the air. The hologram showed star maps with lines connecting different systems. Then it showed Beacon's species, tall, elegant beings with crystal spines traveling between galaxies in living ships that looked more like giant sea creatures than metal spacecraft. "They're explorers," Lisa breathed. "Beacon's people travel the universe studying different phenomena." Jake whistled softly. "That's incredible, but why is it here? What was it studying?" Beacon seemed to understand the question. It touched another spine and the hologram changed. Now it showed this planet, with energy readings coming from deep underground. The readings looked like waves of light spreading out from the planet's core. "Quantum signatures," Lisa said, reading her scanner. "Beacon, you were studying the quantum fields generated by this planet's unique core composition." Beacon glowed bright yellow and nodded enthusiastically. Then its colors shifted to worried red as it pointed toward the canyon again. "Its ship is damaged," Lisa realized. "Without the ship, Beacon can't survive here long term. These creatures aren't meant for this type of atmosphere." Up in orbit, the alien commanders were having a heated discussion. "1 hour is up," announced General Thokmar. "We should eliminate the threat now." "But it's clearly intelligent," protested Officer Veltar. "And it hasn't harmed anyone." "Intelligence makes it more dangerous, not less," replied Captain Nethara. "Intelligent creatures plan attacks. They learn weaknesses." Commander Zixthala was torn. Everything in his training said to destroy unknown threats. But everything he was seeing suggested this creature was more like a stranded traveler than a monster. "Dr. Quental," he said to the Silvani scientist, "what do your detailed scans show?" "The creature's biology is fascinating," Dr. Quental replied. "It's definitely not native to this world. Its cellular structure suggests it evolved in a much different environment, lower gravity, different atmospheric composition. And Commander, those quantum readings the creature was studying, they're remarkable." "Explain." "This planet is generating quantum fields that could revolutionize our understanding of faster-than-light travel. If this creature's people have the technology to study these fields safely, they might hold the key to unlimited clean energy for the entire galaxy." Down on the surface, more human colonists were approaching Beacon. Engineer Pete Rodriguez brought tools and spare parts, trying to understand how he might help repair the creature's ship. Beacon showed him holograms of its bioship's damaged components. "This is incredible," Pete said. "It's like the ship is alive. The hull heals itself. The engines are organic. Everything grows and adapts. If we can figure out how this works..." "Focus on helping first," Lisa reminded him. "Science comes after making sure Beacon survives." But the alien fleet was running out of patience. Several more ships had arrived, including heavy battleships from 3 different military forces. The local situation was being reported to Galactic headquarters, and the response was always the same: eliminate the unknown threat. "Dr. Carter," Commander Zixthala's voice was stern now, "you have demonstrated that this creature is intelligent. That makes it a potential threat to galactic security. Please move to a safe distance so we can proceed." "No," Lisa said firmly. "Beacon isn't a threat. It's a fellow scientist who needs help." You don't understand galactic politics, Zixthala replied. Intelligent species that we don't know about could upset the balance of power. Could be spies or advanced scouts for invasion forces. Lisa looked at Beacon, who was showing Pete how its ship's bio-neural networks functioned. The creature was patient and gentle, excited to share knowledge with the humans who had been kind to it. Commander, Lisa said, look at your own behavior, and then look at ours. You arrived here with weapons ready to kill something you didn't understand. We offered food and friendship. Which approach seems more threatening to galactic security? The radio was quiet for a long moment. The human has a point, said Officer Veltar quietly on the command channel. Irrelevant, snapped General Thokmar. Protocol is protocol. But Commander Zixthala was thinking. In his career, he had seen many first contact situations. Usually they involved his people meeting primitive civilizations or hostile forces. He had never seen anyone simply sit down and share a meal with an unknown species. Dr. Carter, he said finally, can this creature repair its ship? With help, yes, Lisa replied. Pete thinks he can manufacture some of the parts Beacon needs, but it will take time. How much time? Maybe 6 hours, Pete called out. The bioship is amazing, but some of its growth chambers need rare minerals we'll have to synthesize. Zixthala looked at his fleet. More ships were arriving every hour. Soon there would be so many military vessels that the decision would be taken out of his hands entirely. You have 6 hours, he said finally. But if that creature shows any signs of aggression, it won't, Lisa said confidently. Beacon just wants to go home. 4 hours later, everything changed. A massive fleet appeared in orbit around the planet, over 50 ships from the Galactic Council's main battle fleet. The flagship was 3 times larger than any ship that had been there before. Its captain was Admiral Kethvar, the most feared military commander in 3 sectors. Admiral Kethvar's message was short and clear. All personnel have 1 hour to evacuate the contaminated zone. After that, we will sterilize the entire area. Commander. Zixthala felt his stomach drop. Admiral Kethvar was known for following orders exactly, with no room for discussion or delay. If he said sterilize, he meant destroy everything, the creature, the settlement, and anyone who stayed behind. Admiral, Zixthala said over the communication channel, the situation is under control. The creature is not hostile. Commander, Admiral Kethvar replied coldly, you have allowed an unknown alien entity to interact freely with a human colony for over 6 hours. This violates 17 different galactic security protocols. The contamination risk is unacceptable. Down on the surface, Lisa listened to this conversation with growing anger. Contamination, she said to Jake. We're not contaminated. We're learning. Beacon seemed to understand the tension. Its crystal spines were shifting between worried, red, and confused yellow. The creature could sense the threat from the massive ships overhead, even if it didn't fully understand the politics involved. Pete Rodriguez was working frantically on the bioship repairs. I need maybe 2 more hours, he told Lisa. The growth chambers are almost ready, but the quantum harmonics need careful calibration. We don't have 2 hours, Jake said grimly. We have 57 minutes before they blow us all to pieces. Lisa looked around at her fellow colonists. Instead of evacuating, more people had come to help. Dr. Sam Torres was studying Beacon's biology and sharing medical knowledge. Engineer Maria Santos was learning how bioships processed energy. Even the children from the colony school had come to meet the gentle giant, bringing drawings they had made of Beacon's beautiful light patterns. We're not leaving, Lisa announced. Lisa, be reasonable, Jake said. These are the most powerful warships in the galaxy. They'll vaporize this whole area. Then they'll have to vaporize us too, Lisa replied, because I'm not abandoning Beacon. One by one, the other humans nodded in agreement. Pete continued working on the ship repairs. Dr. Torres kept studying Beacon's biology. The children sat in a circle around the creature, showing it their artwork, while Beacon created light shows in response. This is insane, said General Thokmar aboard his ship. The humans are going to get themselves killed over one alien creature. But Officer Veltar was watching the scene below with fascination. General, look at what they're doing. They're not just protecting the creature, they're learning from each other, sharing knowledge. So what? General Thokmar replied. Knowledge can be obtained after we secure the area. Can it? Asked Dr. Quental. Look at the creature's behavior. Around the humans versus its behavior when our ships first arrived. It's completely different. She was right. When the alien ships had first shown up with weapons ready, Beacon had been agitated and defensive. But around the humans, it was calm and eager to communicate. The creature had shared holographic star maps, biological data, and advanced engineering concepts that could benefit the entire galaxy. The humans have achieved more scientific exchange in 6 hours than our protocols typically manage in 6 months, Dr. Quental continued. Admiral Kethvar was not interested in scientific exchange. 30 minutes to evacuation deadline, he announced. Any humans remaining in the contamination zone will be considered compromised and dealt with accordingly. Commander Zixathala made a decision that would change his career forever. Admiral, I request permission to land and personally oversee the evacuation. Granted, Admiral Kethvar replied. But you have 28 minutes. Zixathala's shuttle landed near the human settlement. He stepped out wearing full combat armor and carrying plasma weapons, but as he approached the group around Beacon, he began to understand what his officers had been trying to tell him. The creature was magnificent. Up close, its crystal spines were like living art, shifting through colors that created complex patterns of meaning. Its eyes held intelligence and kindness, and it was gently playing with human children, creating harmless light displays that made them laugh with joy. Commander Zixathala, Lisa said, standing up to greet him. Thank you for coming down here. Dr. Carter, you need to evacuate immediately, Zixathala said. Admiral Kethavar will not hesitate to fire. I know, Lisa replied. But look at what we've learned. She gestured to Pete, who was inside Beacon's bioship, working with tools that seemed to blend human engineering with alien biotechnology. The ship repairs are almost finished, Pete called out. But Commander, you need to see this. The quantum signatures this ship generates, they're incredible. Despite himself, Zixathala approached the bioship. It was unlike anything in his experience, a living vessel that grew and adapted, powered by the same quantum fields that the planet generated naturally. The energy readings were beyond anything his people had achieved. 20 minutes, came Admiral Kethvar's voice over. The radio beacon approached Commander Zixathala slowly. The creature's spines glowed with gentle blue light, the color of peaceful greeting. It extended one of its delicate hand appendages toward the alien commander. Zixathala hesitated. Every protocol said not to make physical contact with unknown species. But the creature waited patiently, its eyes showing intelligence and hope. It's safe, Lisa said softly. Beacon just wants to show you something. Zixathala reached out and touched Beacon's hand. Immediately, images flowed into his mind, not invasive or frightening, but gentle and beautiful. He saw Beacon's homeworld, where creatures like this one lived in harmony with living cities that grew from the ground like coral reefs. He saw the vast distances Beacon had traveled, studying the mysteries of the universe with curiosity and wonder, never with conquest or destruction. 15 minutes to sterilization, Admiral Kethvar announced. All ships prepare firing solutions. But something was happening to Beacon's bioship. As Pete completed the final repairs, the ship began to generate the same quantum signatures that had originally attracted Beacon to this planet. The energy readings on every ship in the fleet went wild. Admiral, Dr. Quental called out urgently, you need to see this. The quantum field the creature's ship is generating. It's not just repairing itself, it's resonating with the planet's core energy. 10 minutes, Admiral Kethvar replied coldly. I don't care what it's doing. But Zixathala cared. Through his connection with Beacon, he could feel what the creature was feeling. This wasn't just about repairing a ship. Beacon had discovered something that could change everything for every species in the galaxy. Admiral Kethvar, Zixathala said urgently, I formally request a postponement of the sterilization order. Request denied, the Admiral replied. 5 minutes to firing. As Admiral Kethvar's fleet prepared to fire, Beacon's bioship did something unexpected. Instead of trying to escape, it activated a protective field that surrounded the entire human settlement. The energy barrier glowed with the same beautiful colors as Beacon's crystal spines. "Impossible," muttered Admiral Keithvar. "No single ship can generate that much defensive power." But Beacon wasn't just using its ship's power. The creature was somehow connecting with the planet's quantum core, drawing energy from the same mysterious fields it had come here to study. The defensive barrier was strong enough to protect everyone below, but it wasn't designed to attack. "Admiral," Dr. Quental called urgently, "the creature is using the planet's natural quantum fields to create a protective shell. This level of quantum manipulation is beyond anything we've ever seen." Lisa watched in amazement as Beacon stood in the center of the energy field, its crystal spines glowing brighter than ever before. The creature was putting all of its strength into protecting the humans who had shown it kindness. "Beacon," she said softly, "you don't have to protect us. Save your strength." But Beacon's eyes met hers, and through its light patterns, she understood its message. These humans had fed it when it was hungry, helped repair its ship when it was stranded, and treated it with kindness when others wanted to destroy it. Now it was returning that kindness. Commander Zix Thala stood beside Lisa, still connected to Beacon through their mental link. Through the creature's perspective, he could see the quantum fields that surrounded the planet like invisible rivers of energy. Beacon's people had spent centuries learning to work with these forces, not to control them, but to cooperate with them. "Admiral Keithvar," Zix Thala called over the radio, "the creature is showing us something important. The quantum fields around this planet aren't just energy sources, they're alive in a way, conscious, and this creature knows how to communicate with them. I don't care if it can talk to the planet itself." Admiral Keithvar replied, "Unknown alien entity. Surrender, immediately, or face destruction." Beacon heard this ultimatum and its spines shifted to gentle yellow light. The creature touched its ship's communication system, and suddenly its voice could be heard by everyone. Not words, but musical tones that somehow carried meaning directly to their minds. "I am Beacon of the Deep Currents," the creature said through harmonics that bypassed language entirely. "I came to your world to study the quantum songs that flow from its heart. I meant no harm to any living being." The entire galactic fleet fell silent. First contact with a new intelligent species was always significant, but hearing one speak for the first time was extraordinary. "I crashed when your people's mining operations disrupted the quantum flows," Beacon continued. "But instead of destroying me as I expected, the humans fed me. They repaired my ship. They treated me as a friend, not as a threat." Admiral Keithvar's voice was uncertain now. "Creature, you will submit to Galactic Authority for processing and evaluation." "No," Beacon replied gently. "I will return to my people. But first I offer a gift to those who showed me kindness." Beacon's bioship began to sing. There was no other word for it. The quantum harmonics it generated resonated with the planet's core, and suddenly energy readings throughout the system spiked beyond anything the galactic sensors had ever recorded. "What is it doing?" demanded General Thokmar. Dr. Quental stared at her instruments in wonder. It's showing us how to tap into unlimited clean energy. The quantum fields around this planet could power 1,000 worlds without any environmental damage. But the process requires cooperation, not conquest. The fields respond to harmony, not force." Through Beacon's demonstration, the alien scientists could see how quantum consciousness worked. The energy fields that flowed between dimensions were not just resources to be harvested. They were part of a vast, interconnected web of awareness that spanned the galaxy. Beacon's people had learned to work with this awareness as partners, not masters. "This technology could revolutionize everything," whispered Officer Veltar. "Clean energy, faster than light travel, communication across any distance, all of it becomes possible if we learn to cooperate instead of dominate." But Admiral Keithvar was not convinced. "Pretty lights and energy readings don't change security protocols. Unknown species are contained until proven safe." "Admiral," Lisa said, broadcasting on an open channel. With respect, your approach is exactly why most species never share their knowledge with the Galactic Council. You meet everything new with weapons ready. We met Beacon with food and friendship. Which approach got better results? Around the human settlement, more colonists had gathered. They stood together in Beacon's protective field, not as a mob or an army, but as a community that had chosen to welcome a stranger instead of fearing it. Jake Miller stepped forward. "Admiral, I'm responsible for this colony's safety. This creature has been here for days and hasn't hurt anyone. But your fleet is threatening to kill everyone here, including the children. Who exactly is the threat in this situation?" Pete Rodriguez emerged from Beacon's bioship, covered in bioluminescent gel but grinning widely. "Admiral, I've learned more about advanced engineering in the last 6 hours than in my entire career. This creature's people have technology that could benefit everyone in the galaxy, but they'll never share it with people who greet them with weapons." Admiral Kethvar faced a decision that would define the future of galactic relations. His training said to eliminate the unknown threat, but the evidence before him suggested that the unknown was only threatening because his people made it so. "All ships," he said finally, "stand down from attack positions." "Sir?" General Tokmar sounded confused. "You heard me," Admiral Kethvar replied. "Stand down." Beacon's protective field shimmered and faded as the creature sensed the threat passing. Its bioship was fully repaired now, humming with quantum energy that made beautiful patterns in the air. "I must return to my people," Beacon said, its harmonics carrying sadness at the parting. "But I will tell them what I learned here, that some beings in this galaxy choose kindness over conquest." Lisa approached Beacon one last time. "Will we see you again?" "Perhaps," Beacon replied. "My people will. Need to discuss what happened here. If we decide to make contact with your galaxy officially, we will remember that humans offered food to a hungry stranger." Beacon's bioship rose slowly into the air, its quantum drives creating patterns of light that spelled out gratitude in a dozen different languages. As it disappeared into hyperspace, it left behind more than just memories. The quantum resonance chambers that Pete had helped repair were still connected to the planet's energy fields. The human colony now had access to clean, unlimited power. More importantly, they had proven that there was an alternative to the galaxy's traditional approach to first contact. 3 months later, the Galactic Council established the first interspecies cooperation protocol. It was written not in the sterile chambers of military headquarters, but in the cafeteria of the human mining colony, around tables where humans and aliens now shared meals and ideas together. Dr. Lisa Carter became the first human ambassador to Beacon's people, the Kithmira. Jake Miller's mining colony became a research station where beings from across the galaxy came to learn what humans called the sharing approach to meeting new species. And Officer Veltar, inspired by what he had witnessed, resigned from military service to become a xenobiologist. He wanted to learn how to feed strange creatures instead of shooting them. The galaxy was a big place, full of wonders and dangers, but it had become a little bit safer and a lot more interesting, all because one human scientist chose to sit down and offer food to a creature that others wanted to kill.